Hello and welcome to part 2 of our light-hearted comedic cue that we are writing. I've had a listen to some of the reference tracks again, and what we had from the end of part 1 is obviously way too busy for going under a TV show. So as an example, I've just muted a whole bunch of stuff here. But even that's going to have to be spaced out a bit more. So just having breaks after the first few beats. Wait, and then repeat that again, and slowly then introduce different elements as we go along. So I'm going to have a go at building this out into a sparse arrangement. And what I'll do this time is bring elements in and out, as opposed to layering. I think is probably going to be the better approach here. So I'll see you when I've done a bit of that. So in terms of structuring, what I am doing is I've actually made these string and bass parts a little bit less complicated by just taking notes out, really. You'll see I've thinned out the arrangement. I've still got everything over here, my big chunk of everything that I can pull in each time I go through a phrase. But you'll see what we've done is we've got the pizzicato bass and a little bit of percussion, a bit more percussion. Then we add in the tuba, this time not doubled with the bassoon. And then I've done a variation on a pattern for the tuba as we go into the second repeat of that section as well. So this is what the start sounds like at the moment. There you go, and that's 30 seconds. I think that's working quite well. There's probably some more transition-y, cymbal-y elements that will need to be added later, but for the moment, I'm going to crack on with some sort of breakdown where we move away from pizzicato strings, perhaps, then come back to something that's going to resemble the all bells and whistles section that we had to start with. Okay, see you in a bit. Well, I'll be honest, that took a little bit longer than I was thinking, but as you can see, we've ended up with the whole piece coming together at the end. I've had to compose some extra runs to fill things out like this. And for this B section, what I've done is introduced the organ, as you can hear, and the bassoon. We need something else going on here as well, which I'm going to address because at the moment that is pretty much all the same. So we're going to need something interesting to come in about there. I've also put this marimba in, so I've changed what I originally wrote for the marimba. And played it in octaves as well. What else have I added? I've put the piano back in when it comes in here, because we started without the piano, so it's very sparse. When we come back in, and I've changed it from the grandeur, actually. I tried a couple of different ones and went with the gentleman upright, just because I like the sound of it. So there's a mini edit point there as well. Then this end section is pretty much full on, and I've got a composed ending. So most things running down apart from the organ, which runs up the blues scale. The flute and piccolo, I had to play that in because I was doing a repeating pattern that didn't really work. So more jazzy inspired flute and doubled with the piccolo above it section. What I'm going to do now is put some transition elements in and have a look at that middle section to see if we can add some interest in there. So let's do that. Now we've got some transition elements. I actually put them in here. It's from Damage, the cymbal swells and reverses. So we've got 4 different sounds going on here to make that middle section a bit more interesting. I don't think it needs to be overcomplicated. It's supposed to be a breakdown. I was thinking about taking out the organ. I might leave it like that actually. The other option was to have it at a lower volume and automate it to come in later. That might be a more useful way of doing things. Okay, like and subscribe, always appreciated. Thank you very much. I'll play what we've got so far through for you as a bit of an outro, and then in part 3 we'll go through, label everything up, color code it, get it ready for the stems, and pretty much ready to go out the door. See you in the next one.